Hi folks, Professor Amachi wanted to get you through T10, the Lyman Hall Theater review assignment. And this one is using JS to inject a table into a static HTML page. So if you're ready, let's get started.
T10 review. What we're going to be doing here is using JS to inject this table here into a static HTML page. And this table here, it's fed by list.js. And as you can tell, these are just indexes and arrays. We're just going to be taking this flat file database and injecting it into here, script source. ×2. Okay, so that first one is lht list.js, right? And set that to defer. And the other one is lht table, Lyman Hall Theater. Set that to defer as well. Okay, one last important thing. What we're gonna do, we're gonna write it to the ID called event list. So this should be after article. Okay, so after article here, before that section closes here, go div and #ID. We'll call it event list. Okay, div ID event list. Okay, so save that because this div ID here, this is what we're going to refer to in our JS when we write out our table. So if you don't have that in there, you're not going to see the table. What we're going to do here is we're going to statically set the date. And then what we can do just to see if it's working, we could change the date around too, and we can see the table update. That's really it for this particular exercise. So let's get started with some of these descriptions. That's the first one there. You want to be able to write the HTML code for the event list table. Set the end date for the event list 2 weeks from the current date. Okay, and that's going to be the date that whatever we statically set up there. We are going to need also this here. We need a for loop. And if the event date is within a 2-week window, display it. And then finally, we're going to write the HTML code into the event list box. Okay, event list, once again, right here. ID event list. We know that if we were to do var, declare this variable here, this day, equals new date, and normally we can leave that blank and that'll just grab the current. Okay, but in this case, since we're working with a kind of like a window here, we kind of want to fit within here. Why don't we just statically declare the date? Okay, so that's there. Okay, and then we're going to write the HTML code for the event list table. That would be this right here. I think we're going to do a caption up here called upcoming events. This whole table ID is going to be called event table. And then we can see up here our heading. Our headers here are going to be date, event, and price. All right, so that's down here. We're gonna do variable table HTML. Okay, declare that variable, and that is gonna equal table ID equals event table. Okay, table HTML. Table HTML, the second line over here, it's going to be our caption. Okay, and between our caption tags there, let's go upcoming events. And then table HTML. Okay, let's get our strings figured out here. So it's a table row. It's going to be this here. Right, so that first table row, it's going to have table heading, for date, right? So you got that first one there. We're going to need the event here. And then we're going to need the price. Yep, so this should do it. So table row, and then within here, a table head for date, table head for event, table head for price. That's right there. All right, set the end date 2 weeks from the current date. So we declare a variable here. We'll call it end date. It's going to be new date. Okay, this day, get time, and then plus 14 days there, 24 hours, 60 minutes. Okay, good. So now we're going to want to loop through here. So for, remember that. And then I think this portion right here will also be part of the for loop here. So let's just include that. Okay, great. So var I for index, couldn't think of anything better. Index, okay, clear it out. We're also gonna do index less than event dates length, then increment. Okay, and 3 variables we're going to be declaring right here. Okay, event date, it's going to be new date, event dates, and that's your index right there. Okay, event day. This one is event date. Okay, that's event date to date string. Okay, and then the event time. Event date to locale time string. Okay, and if it's within that 2-week window, we're going to display this out there. That's going to be an if statement. And that's going to be here if this day is less than or equal to event date, and event date is less than or equal to end date, then we'll loop here. Table HTML. Table HTML will do this, and then we'll do our table row. Okay, it's probably pretty safe to say we're going to have a closing table row right in there. So the rest of it we're filling out in here. Table HTML. Table data. Okay, and then it's the event day. Yep, the event day plus event day. Okay, plus string here. Let's do an @ symbol there. And then the time is going to be right out there as well. So then we include here event time. Okay, and then we close off our table data. Okay, is that making sense? So we got table data, event day, display that. Insert a string here of @ and then insert here event time. Event time, yeah, it's probably going to be out over here. Okay, so what else do we need? We need the description. You got it, table HTML. Okay, we need, of course, another table data plus event descriptions. Event descriptions with that index right there. Plus close off our table data. Okay, and what else do we need? I think we need the price. Yeah, here's the price down here. You got it, table data. Plus event prices with that index there. Plus close off your table data. Okay, so here's our table row. Table row starts off right here. Include a table data here for the event day, the event time. One more column over is the event description. One more column over is the event prices. And then we close off that row. So after the loop here, yeah, we got to close off table, right? Right, because here's our table ID that was way up here, and that's enclosing all of this, right? So we got to close off our table ID. Okay, and finally, guess what we have to do now? We got to write it, right? What does that mean in JS? Document get element by ID. Where do we want to write to? We want to write to this ID right here. Okay, to event list, inner HTML. That's going to be written out there to table HTML. Awesome. Here we go. Here's our table for 2 weeks. See how easy that was. Right, so the section there, here it is, event list. See all these table rows here? See this right here, this wasn't in our original code right here. Right, all we saw was that. But since we programmed this, since we use JS, it just threw in 2 weeks worth of events here. See, there's our TD. TD was right there, and then remember how we did an @ symbol? Right, there it is injected right there, and then we threw in the that variable value for the time. Then we closed off TD. Right, and then here is the description, and then here is the price. Now, just for grins here, see, we're starting at October 1. What happens if we start at like September 3rd? We could try it out. Table updates automatically. September 3rd, here we go. 2 weeks worth. 2 weeks worth of events. What do you think? Isn't that cool? So we try to automate as much as possible. Okay, and that will be your demo for T10 review assignment.
Okay, that's going to do it. Hope this worked out for you. I certainly had fun putting this together for you as well. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next.